Okay. Let's see what else we got. Star Wars Super Return of the Jedi. Oh, we're skipping one in the middle, but that's okay. Let's see how this version is. So let's see how this game fares. We did go through entirely the first Star Wars game on Game Boy, even though we had to resort to Nintendo Power to get all the way through it, and I don't think that Nintendo Power covered this game. I don't know what the real time it... Oh, that's a bad sign. They're a bad company. Oh dear. So yeah, that is the same exact title screen that they had on the Super NES version, hence Super Return of the Jedi. And A button is to go down one. It does not mean start or enter or, confirm. That is unusual. I thought we were gonna get the opening text crawl. I guess not. Now, from what I remember of the Super NES game, you start off, opening stages is Leia as Bausch, the bounty hunter, entering Jabba's palace. And I'm going to assume that it does not want me to hit the button, and that it will continue on its own time. Of course, I could be entirely wrong. It's waiting for me to hit the button. I can never tell with these, because sometimes it wants you to hit the button, and sometimes hitting the button will skip the cutscene entirely, and the game doesn't really ever tell you. Or, doesn't often tell you. Okay, so yes, Leia as Bausch in Tatooine, entering, Jabba's palace. So yes, this is, in fact, a Game Boy version of the Super Nintendo game. And, yeah, no. Hey, wait, no. The Super NES version started with you in some kind of... I don't even know what. Some kind of land speeder that I don't remember actually being in any of the movies. And you're just sort of racing forward, and you're on some kind of area that has a lot of rocks and a lot of areas where you just sort of fall into nothingness if you go off the edge of the track. Okay, and there's the first area, I guess? Now, if this does hold up the same, keeping the same areas and bosses and such, the first boss will be the, remember that little eye stalk thing that poked out when, folks were trying to enter Jabba's palace? That is the boss of the first stage. Or, well, the first big area of stuff like this here. Also, those are supposed to be shooting lasers at us. Kinda glad they're not. I always hated those little things in the, Super NES version. There we go. We need a lot more help before we think about any bosses. And yeah, Bausch uses a sort of a staff thing. It's a lot easier to tell in the actual Super NES version. Oh hey, we got an item. Okay. Okay, and that way goes down to instant death, so presumably this is the direction we are meant to be going in. Oh, and... Yep. That is our boss. Not as big as he is in the Super NES version, but definitely the same thing. That little eye stalk thing coming out to attack us. Yeah, for sure, the one time you don't come straight at me. Come on then. Okay, that's getting annoying. Hit once, run away. This is going to be a terribly long boss fight if we do have to hit once and run away for every one of those little life bars down there that is half obscured by my save statery. Oh, and you can only hit it when it is actually fully extended, otherwise it ain't doing a thing. Oh, that's new. Trying to do this without taking overly much damage, because, you know, that is generally a good thing to try and do. And just bear in mind, we are on easy, and the game is still this hard. To date, I have never beaten any of the Super NES trilogy of Star Wars games on Jedi mode. Like, save states and all, I cannot accomplish it. I don't know how people do accomplish it real life style. It is astoundingly hard. Like, the best I could figure is maybe they wait and farm the extra health lightsabers, because that is a thing you can do in that version. You can get the any lightsaber you pick up just extends your health meter. But even then, even at, you know, full health meter... Oh, and now we're down to half life bars. Awesome! Even more hit points for the damn thing. Okay, first boss has been defeated. Okay, come on then. Oh yeah, the dance hall. Okay. So yeah, it is very much so just a straight-up Game Boy port of the Super NES version. Oh, and that guy is supposed to run away. Is that actually supposed to die when you hit him? Curious. Does it want me to kill everything? I guess it wants me to kill everything before moving on, so yes. Again, very similar to the Super NES version. Although I will say here, killing everything is astoundingly easy. Those other creatures there take many hits in the other version, so everything taking basically one hit in this version, I am completely okay with. Maybe it's because we're on easy, but even on easy in the Super NES version, things still took like 4 to 5 hits to kill. Yep, the Twi'lek with her whip. The Gamorrean pig guards with their axes. And all sorts of things I can't identify. Except for... what is it? Salacious Crumb, I think he's called. The little laughing rodent creature. Oh, good night, Who. I should stop landing inside of people in order to attack them. Also, I don't trust those floors for exactly that reason. That's what they do, although they're supposed to do that for the enemies as well, not just for you. But yeah, you fall through there, it's instant death. Hey, no more of that. Oh, and now we have the Twi'lek, whose name I don't recall. Okay, boss defeated? Uh-huh. In the Super NES version, that guy, you know, the right-hand man of Jabba who did all his translating and such. Oh, right. Hit button, continue. He was a boss, and he was actually a very difficult boss in the Super NES version, but I guess they decided against that for this particular version. Also, this is another interesting thing. We had to traverse the entire Rancor pit before fighting him. Originally, kind of glad to have done away with the rest of that stage. Okay, how did we... I don't know how we lost so much health already. Not going to worry about it, just going to continue attacking, dodging, and winning very easily. I mean, I know we're on easy, but... wow. They nerfed the hell out of this Game Boy version. Like, even on easy, Super Return of the Jedi is still one of the hardest games you can find on the Super Nintendo. I will say, though, these Game Boy versions of the songs are pretty good. Like, they could have done much, much worse. Like that Jeopardy song we had earlier, that was miserably bad. So I'm losing a lot of life, and I don't like that. Jump. Double jump. There. Okay, I'm going to have to start doing other things now in order to get wherever it is I need to go. Okay, floating platform. Whoa, 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 those are not things you can stand on. Okay. I really thought those pipes would be an actual platform, but they are not. Also curious, what was off here to the left? Do we actually have multiple branching paths to get to the same ending, or is this like a... like, I know there was an extra life down here, which I don't really actually care about. But what else is over here? Okay, we got health. I still don't know what that little P circle does. Strange that you went for the middle one, Tenta. Like, Rogue Squadron 3 is better than Rogue Squadron 2. And, you know, Rogue Squadron the first is kind of the standout one for doing it first. The middle one is just kind of... eh. I guess in comparison to the first and third. Although the very unfortunate thing is that none of the three games can be played in emulation. Rogue Squadron stands out as being next to impossible to emulate on any N64 emulator, and 2 and 3 don't seem to work with Dolphin at all. Okay, I see. That sucks then. Should definitely try and track down the third one. Shouldn't be too expensive now. And it's definitely worth checking out. That would be a wall. How then do we... is this type of wall? I don't even know how we're supposed to get to that. activate the... Thank you. There. So I guess we're fighting Boba Fett, and he's putting up far more of a fight than he did in the movie. That was not a thing, fighting Boba Fett in the Super NES version. I don't actually remember, like, this is a thing I do remember, fighting Jabba in this sort of silly method, but don't recall fighting anyone else on the sail barge. Okay, so moving on. We should be up to the speeder bike race on Endor. Let's see if they can manage that on the Game Boy. Oh my god. Well, this sure is a thing. Get away from me, damn it! And it seems to be generally the same of having to destroy a certain number of stormtroopers on speeder bikes. Oh hey, we can sort of move up and down a bit. That is good for dodging. I was wondering how we were supposed to be dodging all those other stormtroopers. Oh, and yeah. And of course then stuff like that happens, and yeah. Really is just very hard to actually dodge these bastards. Yeah, get in front of me. Thank you. Of course, if you manage to dodge them, managing to hit them is then equally hard. And that's a tree. Huh. Ah, tree. Yeah. Not that the SNES version of this is astoundingly amazing or anything, but this is... I think they should have just cut this part out and gone straight to the next section of regular platforming. I think they would have done a lot better by leaving this part out. Okay. That should be that section all finished. On to the regular platforming. Okay. Oh, and thing, like, before we can even possibly actually see it. Really hoping... There we go. I was gonna say I was really hoping to make it to that next platform up. At least we can still fire arrows in multiple directions. That's rather nice. Gotta say that overall, in general, this has been a really good port. Like, it's not often you end up with a good Super NES to a regular Game Boy port, but here we are. I do remember this boss from the Super NES version, but I don't remember, like, what from the movie he's supposed to be a recreation of. He's one of those strange droids, I suppose. Also, this brute force method I don't think is going to win out for us this time. think we will actually have to, like, focus and... unless... Aw. Okay, we do have to start the entire stage over again. So no, that's not gonna work. I was hoping we would get right back up and continue the fight, but no luck there. Okay, yeah, all this coming in an inch off the ground and dropping stuff, that's gotta stop. Okay, now we can continue with the brute forcing method now that we have it low enough in health. And there we go. Okay. We are nearly through the game. We just have the power generator and then I think just the final Death Star run. Which I'm really curious how it's going to be in this version. In Super NES, it is one of the hardest things to actually accomplish on the entire console. Okay, screw you. I'm just going to double jump on and, you know, not care about trying to destroy the little laser trap things. Nope, don't care. Doing our best to ignore and just walk right on. Anything we don't have to kill, we're not going to. Oh dear. Running away. I'm not sure what those guys are meant to be. I don't remember the stormtroopers in this area being particularly different looking while they were trying to raid the power generator and, you know, make it go kaboom. Like that, the regular stormtroopers, just like that guy there. Okay, just gotta wait for the platforms to align. That'll do. There, that'll work. Wow. These guys take a lot of hits. Kinda curious if it would have taken that many hits with all the characters. Oh. Okay, so I thought that was an enemy thing, but apparently that's just R2. So we have R2 as our checkpoint. And it actually makes more sense like that than it did in the others, where, well, no, I guess it just sort of did just sort of stand in place and... I swear I remember one where on getting R2 as the checkpoint, you would go flying off into the air, but I might be confusing that with some other game and some other checkpoint type. So I think he is resetting each time I go down off-screen. That was close. Still don't know what the P does, so... Wait, I wonder. Could be... No, it's not. I was gonna say, because,